What if I told you a terrifying secret about the economy? What if I told you that 3 out of every 4 people you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers, will work their entire lives for 40 or 50 years and will die without ever accumulating $100,000 in net worth? According to the Federal Reserve, that is not a hypothetical. That is a statistical fact. 75% of the population is on a treadmill to nowhere, running harder and harder every year, only to end their lives in the exact same financial position they started in, broke. This is the great silent epidemic of our time. It is not a lack of hard work. People are working multiple jobs. They're driving for Uber after their 9 to 5. They're sacrificing time with their families, and yet they are not building wealth. They are stuck. They are trapped in a cycle of earning and spending with nothing left over to show for their lifetime of labor. Why? Is it because they are bad with money? Is it because they buy too much avocado toast? Those are the lies the system tells you to keep you complacent. The truth is far more sinister. There are invisible forces, psychological traps, and mathematical barriers deliberately placed in the path of the average person, designed to ensure they never escape. But a small percentage of people, the top 25%, figure out how to see these traps and navigate around them. They're not smarter, they're not luckier. They just understand the rules of the new game. My name is John. This is the Penny Plan, and today I am going to expose the 3 primary reasons why most people fail to reach this critical first milestone of wealth, the mindset shift that separates the winners from the crowd, and how you can ensure you are on the right side of this statistic. Before we can understand why people fail, we have to identify the enemy. The enemy is not a person, it is a system. It is a pervasive, invisible ideology that I call the Matrix of Financial Complacency. This matrix is the set of social norms and expectations designed to keep you a compliant, productive, and perpetually broke consumer. It is the air you breathe. It tells you what a normal life is supposed to look like, and normal is the most dangerous word in personal finance. What does this matrix tell you is normal? It tells you that a 3% annual raise is a victory, even when inflation is eating 4% of your purchasing power. It tells you that a $700 car payment is a normal cost of transportation. It tells you that going into $50,000 of debt for a college degree is a good investment, even if it leads to a job that can't pay the bills. It tells you to put 10% into your 401k and not worry about it, treating your financial future like a lottery ticket you hope will pay off in 40 years. The goal of this matrix is to create what I call financial drones. A financial drone is a person who works hard, follows the rules, consumes what they are told to consume, and never questions the system. They're busy, they're stressed, but they feel like they're doing what they are supposed to do. They are making their car payment on time. They have the new iPhone. They are treading water, but they mistake the feeling of frantic kicking for forward progress. This system is not a conspiracy. It is simply the emergent result of a consumer economy. Corporations need you to spend. The government needs you to work and pay taxes, and the financial industry needs you to take on debt. Everyone benefits from your complacency. Nobody benefits from your freedom. The reason 75% of people never reach $100,000 is because they never unplug from this matrix. They spend their entire lives playing a game that is mathematically rigged against them. They are trying to win a race, but the finish line is being moved further away with every step they take. To break free, you have to do something deeply uncomfortable. You have to reject normal. You have to look at the life everyone else is living and consciously choose to walk in the opposite direction. You have to be the weirdo. You have to be the person who drives the old car, who maxes out their Roth IRA, who says no to the lifestyle upgrades. You have to become the glitch in the matrix. So let's break down the 3 specific glitches, the 3 barriers that keep people trapped inside this system. The first barrier, the tyranny of small numbers. This is the mathematical despair that kills momentum before it can even begin. The journey to your first $100,000 is a game of 2 halves. The first half, from 0 to $50,000, is brutal. It is a slog. Why? Because during this phase, your progress is almost entirely dependent on your savings rate. Your investment returns are so small they are psychologically insignificant. Let's say you managed to save $10,000. You invested perfectly in an S&P 500 index fund. The market has a fantastic year and goes up 10%. You have made $1,000. That is amazing, but it doesn't feel amazing. It doesn't change your life. You still have to wake up and go to your job. That $1,000 is a rounding error in the grand scheme of your financial needs. This is where people quit. They look at the monumental effort it took to save that $10,000, the skipped vacations, the home-cooked meals, the disciplined no's, and then they look at the $1,000 reward and their brain says, this is not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. They get discouraged. They think the system is a lie. They cash out and buy the jet ski. What they don't understand is that they are quitting the game in the first quarter. They are walking off the field before the star players, compound interest, have even had a chance to warm up. The 75% fail because they cannot endure the boring middle. They are addicted to instant results in a game that only rewards patience. The 25% who succeed understand this. They treat the first $50,000 not as a measure of their investment genius, but as a test of their character. They know the returns will be pathetic. They don't care. They are not focused on the returns. They are focused on building the habit. They are focused on widening the gap between their income and their expenses. They are building the snowball at the top of the hill, knowing that for the first few hundred feet, they will have to push it themselves. They have the faith to push through the mathematical despair, knowing that on the other side, gravity will take over. The second barrier, the curse of the good enough job. This is the income barrier, and it is the most insidious trap of all. Most people do not fail to reach $100,000 because they have a terrible job. They fail because they have a good enough job. They have a job that pays $60,000, $70,000, or $80,000 a year. It is a comfortable cage. This level of income is dangerous because it is just enough to be comfortable, but not enough to build serious wealth. It allows you to pay your bills, have a decent apartment, drive a respectable car, and go on one vacation a year. It allows you to feel middle class, but what it doesn't allow for is a massive savings rate. After taxes, housing, and a normal lifestyle, there might only be a few $100s left over each month. At that rate, reaching $100,000 can take 20 years. The person in the good enough job is trapped. They are afraid to leave because the job is secure, the benefits are decent, but they are also afraid to stay because they can feel themselves stagnating. They are a frog in a pot of slowly warming water, getting more comfortable as they are being cooked alive. The 25% who break through this barrier do something that terrifies the average person. They take calculated risks to dramatically increase their income. They leave the safe $60,000 job to take a $120,000 job in sales that is commission-based. They spend their nights and weekends learning a high-income skill like coding or digital marketing so they can double their salary in 2 years. They start a side business. They understand a critical concept. You cannot save your way to wealth on an average salary in 2026. The numbers just don't work. You have to earn your way out. They are willing to endure a period of instability and risk to escape the comfortable cage of the good enough job. The 75% prioritize security over opportunity. The 25% understand that true security only comes from having an income so high that saving becomes effortless. The third barrier, the silent cancer of lifestyle creep. This is the spending barrier, and it is the reason why even high earners fail to build wealth. Lifestyle creep is not about buying a Lamborghini the day you get a raise. It is far more subtle. It is death by 1,000 upgrades. It is the slow, almost invisible inflation of your lifestyle that happens with every small pay bump. You get a $5,000 raise. You don't see that as an extra $5,000 to invest. You see it as an extra $400 a month. So what do? You move to a slightly nicer apartment that costs $300 more. You upgrade your car to a model that costs $100 more a month. And just like that, the entire raise is gone. You are making more money, but you are not getting any wealthier. You are just upgrading the quality of your cage. This happens over and over again. Your income doubles over a decade, but your net worth stays the same. Why? Because your expectations rise in lockstep with your earnings. You start to feel that you deserve the nicer things. You see your friends upgrading their lives, and the social pressure to keep up is immense. The 75% who fail are the victims of this silent cancer. They let their lifestyle inflate with their income, ensuring they are always running in place. Their savings rate remains stuck at a measly 5 or 10%, no matter how much they earn. The 25% who succeed have a secret weapon. They create an artificial gap between their earnings and their lifestyle. When they get a $10,000 raise, they celebrate for a night, and then they immediately automate an extra $800 a month into their investment account. They trick themselves into never even seeing the new money. They continue to live on their old salary. They drive the same car. They live in the same apartment. They look less successful than their peers, but they are secretly becoming financial titans. They understand that the key to wealth is not how much you make, but how much you keep. So, we have the three barriers: the mathematical despair, the comfortable cage of a good enough job, and the silent cancer of lifestyle creep. If you can conquer these three, you will reach $100,000. It is a mathematical certainty. But this brings us to the twist. The real reason that 75% of people fail is not because of any one of these barriers. It is because of something deeper. Reaching $100,000 is not an income problem. It is not a spending problem. It is an identity problem. The 75% fail because they see themselves, at their core, as consumers. Their primary function in the economy is to work and then to spend. Saving is an afterthought. It is the little bit of money that is left over at the end of the month, which is usually zero. Their identity is defined by what they buy, what they drive, and where they go on vacation. The 25% who succeed have undergone a profound identity shift. They no longer see themselves as consumers. They see themselves as capitalists. Not in a greedy, evil sense, but in the purest definition of the word. They are owners of capital. This identity shift changes everything. A consumer sees a dollar and thinks, what can I buy with this? A capitalist sees a dollar and thinks, how can I deploy this soldier to go out and capture more prisoners for my army? A consumer sees a job as their only source of income. A capitalist sees a job as a temporary source of seed capital to fund the real wealth-building machine, their investments. When you adopt the identity of a capitalist, the entire game changes. You are no longer playing by the rules of the Matrix. You are the architect of your own system. Saying no to a lifestyle upgrade isn't a sacrifice. It is a strategic allocation of capital. Working on your side hustle on a Friday night isn't a chore. It is you building your own factory. This is the secret. You cannot act your way to wealth. You have to become your way to wealth. You have to fundamentally change how you see yourself and your role in the world. Are you a consumer or are you a capitalist? Are you a financial drone or are you a glitch in the matrix? The 75% are consumers. The 25% have chosen a different identity. That is the real reason they win. The statistic is grim. 75% of people are on a path to a life of financial struggle, but you do not have to be one of them. You now know the traps, you know the barriers, you know the mindset shift required to break free. Do not be discouraged by the tyranny of small numbers. Endure the boring middle. Do not be seduced by the comfortable cage of a good enough job. Seek to maximize your income, and do not fall victim to the silent cancer of lifestyle creep. Live below your means, no matter how much you make. But most importantly, make the choice. Decide today what your financial identity is going to be. Are you a consumer, destined to spend your life on the treadmill? Or are you a capitalist, building a machine that will one day work for you? The path is not easy. It requires you to be different. It requires you to be disciplined. But the reward is not just a number in a bank account. The reward is freedom. The reward is peace of mind. The reward is a life lived on your own terms. That is a prize worth fighting for. If this video gave you a new perspective and lit a fire under you to escape the 75%, then do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and like this video so we can help more people unplug from the Matrix. I'll see you in the next one.